So, hello everyone, and welcome to Starlight's blog. For those of you who don't know me, sorry, vlog, not blog. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Katie and I am from Starlight. And I am doing a vlog because I am rubbish at writing blogs. I start them, I never finish them. I have so many half-written blogs with such beautiful and amazing information that I want to share, and I just never get round to writing them and editing them and getting them up. And so I'm going 21st century. I'm gonna do a blog instead. I even tried to do a 10-day blog challenge and got through 3 days and didn't manage the rest of it, which is a shame because I really love writing. But apparently I find it much easier to video. And so I am doing a vlog now. And this is the first one. And I was really, really confused as to what to speak about, still in blog mode, in this blog, because there is so many wonderful things that have been happening, especially through the course that I am in the last week of running, which is a course in channeling and connection. And channeling is really at the center of my path and my work. And this course, I just have my heart and soul in it. And every year that we run it, every time we run it, it is so magical. Like the synchronicity just goes crazy because the universe is proving to all of these budding channels how real a life of connection can be. And it's so magical. And there are so many things that I want to share about it, but I'm not going to do a really epic vlog. So I've picked one of them. And I think the thing I would most like to share is, at the moment, I'll probably talk loads more about the course later on, but the thing I'd most like to share is just something that's actually been really important on my path and has been so highlighted to me during this course. And that is the importance of keeping learning, and not just keeping learning, but also the importance of returning to the basics. And I say it's been a big part of my path. I was lucky enough to have a wonderful yoga teacher say to me on a retreat that I was doing in Glastonbury, which felt like an initiation at the time into the next phase of my path. And this initiation was a goddess retreat, which at the time didn't feel relevant, but it was ever so relevant, and certainly is so relevant now because I do so much goddess work now. And it was an all-women's retreat, and this amazing yoga teacher, who was a friend of Solara's, who was teaching the retreat, turned to me and said, "The sign of a good yoga teacher is not how much time you spend teaching, it is how much time you spend on the mat." And it was one of those sentences that just went straight through me and has always, always stayed with me as I walk my path as a space holder and somebody who takes and teaches courses and teaches groups. And it has really, really stayed with me that it is so important not to just be in the role of space holder, in the role of teacher, that it's important to keep learning and keep going to other courses and other channels and keep being kind of on the other side of being a teacher. And it's helped me so much on my path for so many reasons. But what happens with the channeling course is really my guides teach it. I don't really teach much of anything. My guides do most of the teaching in general with my work. And what happens on the channeling course is I repeat the course. And so I do every piece of homework that is sent out to the group. And it is a very, very back to basics course, because it's a very slow process. And so you start with a whole week just dedicated to heart and heart connection, which is the center of channeling and the key to channeling. And every time I do it, I feel so renewed and so humbled and so expanded from returning to those basics, from returning to the foundation. And my channeling improves so much. My connection improves so much. My understanding of the universe improves so much from taking that time to return to the foundation, to return to what it's all about, to return to the heart. And it's just transformational. And so I guess what this first vlog is about is just about how important it is to return to the foundation, to the basics, to go back to those scales of your instruments, of whatever your instrument of your path is. And when you do return, it's amazing because you actually see how much you've grown. You know, going back to those heart exercises of simply connecting to my heart, how I connected to my heart had shifted so much over the year. And I really realized how much I'd transformed and how much I'd changed and how much I'd learned. And yet the heart still has stuff to teach us. The foundation always has stuff to teach us, the most important things to teach us. And of course, you can't just only be the teacher doing the foundation of your own course. I make it a personal rule, and have done this year, that I go to one workshop, retreat, event, course, or another channel at least once a month, and more if I can afford it, time and money wise. And it usually works out more. And that has just helped me so much. It's helped me reconnect to myself, where I'm not in the role of a space holding, of thinking about other people. You know, when you go and give time for your self work and you're not anything to do with the event, you've just paid for it. You can just relax and really give yourself that time you need to connect and find out. And also, you keep your ego in check. You know, it's very easy to slip into ego. And when you go into a state of learning, you immediately go into a state of vulnerability, and your ego immediately gets put back in its place. So it's really good for your ego to keep learning. And more than those things, on a path level, it's really doing something for me, this promise to myself. And it actually got explained to me during the course by my guides that basically, when you're feeling bored or fed up or frustrated with your life, that means that you're at the end of a cycle of your path. And so, you know, everything we do belongs to our path, every course, every job, every single thing we do, every relationship. And when you're feeling like your life isn't fulfilling you, it means that you're at the end of a cycle of that job or that area of your life. And what my guides have said about continuing the learning process is it kind of stops you having to go through that frustrated bit of the cycle. Because when you keep learning, you're basically inviting the next cycle in, and you're not having to do that stage of like, oh, I'm really stuck, I'm really fed up, I don't know what direction I'm going in yet, because I've just been repeating the same things I have been doing. What the learning does, what the continuation of your growth does is it takes you to where you start being inspired for the next cycle of your path, and it kind of takes you there without having to go into that really unfulfilled, stuck moment before you move up into the next cycle. And I think that's really, really important, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in those stuck moments in my life. I want to keep flowing and keep moving, and you know, when I go to other courses and workshops, of course I get inspired, but on top of being inspired, you also unlock new things within yourself when you give yourself time for self-work that is purely about your own self-growth and self-development. You ultimately unlock new gifts for your path, unlock new understandings of your path. And whatever your path is, it is always about giving something that you understand and can make and can create and can heal and can teach to someone else and can build. And so the more things that you can learn how to do for that path, the more new things you have to give, and the more quickly you come onto the cycle. And so I guess this vlog is saying, keep learning and keep going back to the basics. There's nothing wrong with relearning what you have already learned. You know, I used to stop myself going to courses and workshops because, you know, if I'd done power animals, I was like, oh, I don't need to do power animals. I've already done power animals. But what I've especially learned this year is actually, no, every time you go back to something that has become a foundation, that has become something you understand, you get so much more out of it. You relearn it from the new vibration that you're in, and you relearn it from the new frequency that you're in, and from the new life place that you're in. And it has so much, the foundation stuff has so much to give your life wherever it is at. And so I hope you enjoyed this first vlog. My plan is to try and do weekly ones and just share whatever wisdom or beauty or magic has happened in that week for Starlight. This week has had so much beauty and magic, and I will try and do another vlog to share it with you. But I would like them to be short and sweet. So thank you so much for lending me your time and listening, and sending you so much love and learning and blessings for your path.